when it comes to cow's milk and cheese and stuff like that, right? They say that, we're the only species that drinks milk from another one. So cows don't drink goat's milk. A cat isn't going to drink the milk from a dog, and so on and so forth. But we are adults, still nursing when, we nurse when we're babies, and then we get weaned off the milk, and after that we don't drink milk anymore. Like the baby cow does versus the adult cow. The adult cow doesn't drink milk anymore. But we are still nursing, one, as adults, and two, off of a completely different species. So, being that cow's milk shouldn't be inside of the human, your body's going to defend against itself. It's going to defend itself against it, pardon me. And that defense is the mucus that we're demonizing right now. So there's a degree of mucus that's supposed to be in the body, but excess mucus is that's where the problem lies. So like we spoke about earlier, candidly off camera, if there were no mucus on your stomach lining, the stomach and your digestive system being a very acidic place for the purpose of digesting food in it, we'd burn from the inside out. So your body has to maintain what they call an acid-alkaline balance. It isn't about being too alkaline or too acidic, but about having that balance that the human body is supposed to be in. And they say that the pH scale runs from 0 to 14. 0 to 6 being acid, 7 being neutral, 7.5 and up being alkaline. And
so, quick question.
Oh, yes.
For those milk lovers, what milk would you suggest?
Okay, so milk that comes from nuts and seeds, not milk that comes from an animal. So no goat's milk, no cow's milk, no horse milk, or whatever milk they will begin to market toward people. So outside of the milk from your mother, you can make milks that are derived from nuts and seeds. So almond milk, hemp seed milk. There's quite a few nut milks and seed milks. Coconut milk. Those are milks we should be using instead of using milks that come from animals, because that milk is for their young. So the cow's milk is for the baby cow, the goat's milk is for the baby goat, and so on and so forth.
So now I hear, because a few years back, soy was on the market. Yes. Everybody was wanting to get soy. Get soy.
Yeah.
What's your take on soy?
Soy is meant to be taken very, extremely minimal. You don't take a lot of soy. They say soy will disrupt your hormonal balance. There's a lot of estrogen in soy. So that wreaks havoc on us as men. And it'll definitely wreak havoc on the female as well. So they say the Asians, they utilize soy, but they use very little amounts of it. That's like a small portion of their main meal. But here in the States, if you're not eating milk, once upon a time, if you're not eating meat, rather, you're soying yourself to death.
So, quick question.
Yes.
For a mother giving soy to a little kid, what would be the effects on that?
Yeah, being that the child from infant till about adolescent is still developing, anything disrupting their building process is extremely detrimental. So a lot of our baby girls are developing very fast when it comes to the breasts and their shape and all of that. Even the boys are developing breasts now, and that stems from the hormonal imbalance that's going on within them, and that's caused by soy and also caused by the estrogen they're putting in the animals. So to fast forward the development of a chicken, they'll pump a chemical in the chicken to have that happen. When we eat that chicken, we're eating the chicken and the chemical that they got ingested in, and that causes us to develop faster as well.
So soy does increase estrogen?
Yes. So we have to have that. We need to curb that tremendously. So I'm not one to say permanently stay away from it, but you want to really proportion it. Don't have nowhere near as much of it as we've been having lately.
So could that be the reason why you see a lot of young adolescents changing their sex habits? Like you got a lot of little girls want to be boys now, and boys want to be girls.
That's a deep question that has an even deeper answer. That's part of it. but also, you know, and you know, this deals with mental health, so we're still on course. But there's like a masculinity and femininity and what that means. You know what I mean? We have a very like elementary understanding of those two terms. You know, so in some cases, men, right, or boys rather, growing up to be men, cannot have a masculine presence in the household. The secret is we don't need to learn how to be men, being that we're men innately. We just need to tap into ourselves and we can be men. We don't need another man to show us how to be a man. But in some cases, depending on the individual rather, the male presence not being in the household can have that young boy missing the male presence, and that can turn into a young boy falling in love with the masculine presence rather than absorbing and becoming it. You know, I think that's more so why, not so much the estrogen can kind of definitely change the aesthetic of the human, but I won't say it'll kind of dictate the gender preference of an individual.
All right.
And that's, you know, personal, you know what I mean? Like, you know, not to say that's universally correct, but that's my consensus based on my observation.
Okay. All right, thanks. You know.
We're conditioned to think that we're eating and drinking things for energy when that isn't really the case, being that we're energy already. You know, so my man holding the camera, myself, us over here, we're energy. Even down to the bottle and the wood that we're around, it's all energy, forms of energy. So now the question becomes, is what we're eating and drinking promoting our energy flow or blocking it? You know, so this deals with the energy flow promoting, it promotes energy flow. It feeds your energy centers that your hormones kind of secrete from, and your body communicates within itself, and you have a natural form of energy rather than a jittery, artificial energy.
So this stuff right here, let me see this for a second. Lion paw.
Mm-hmm.
What's the main ingredients in this?
Raw moon, sarsaparilla root, maca root. There's an herb. The Caribbean is funny in that they tend to name herbs after what they're good for. So there's a Jamaican herb called stiff cock, and they got that name because it's good for the male and female reproductive system, reproductive health.
So this right here is good for men.
Men and women alike.
So if a brother walked in here right now and said, "Look, man, I'm having problems with my woman," so you say, "You know what? Go over there and get some of that lion paw."
Yes, that's a sure shot.
Okay.
Yeah, I stand on that statement.
You stand on this.
Yes.
And I see you got a lot of healthy stuff in here, so it's
Yes,
not
yes.
something that's gonna no side effects.
No,
Like
I mean, well, too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
Okay.
You know, so definitely there's a dosage to it. So you could do anywhere between 1 to 5 ounces a day.
1 to 5 ounces.
Very rarely is 5 ounces needed. I tell people to start with 2. And then if over the course of the day you need more, you can do up to 3 more ounces a day to make it the full 5.
And how will your body begin to react towards this?
One of the first things people feel is energy. That's one of the
Okay.
first, you know, like I had a brother in here, a regular, you know, when he comes in, he'll kind of, he will talk to me fatigued, you know, and I gave him a shot of this when this was new. And I gave him a shot and I continued to speak to him. And as I spoke with him, I saw his energy kind of rise to the point where he even hit him. Like, where did this energy come from? So energy, first and foremost, is what people feel.
Boost tonic.
Secondarily, it's good for the mucus too, like we spoke about earlier.
Okay, because that's
Some
one of the
mucus
things
busted.
we want to get into, the mucus. Because I know Dr. Sebi, he went into a lot of that and said how the mucus caused a lot of different ailments.
Right.
And so I think that's something that the community, we should know more about. And that's questions that we're going to ask you a little bit later.
Right. Because what it is too, it isn't so much the mucus, it's more so the acid causing the mucus to form.
Okay.
So your body secretes mucus naturally, you know, like your stomach lining has a degree of mucus in it, and so on and so forth. So in an attempt to defend itself, the body will secrete excess amounts of mucus to combat the acids that we're eating.
Okay.
So the mucus, not so much. The mucus is like a side effect. That's like that's a body's reaction. But the acidic things that Dr. Sebi spoke about,
Okay.
eating the acid things is what causes that mucus to form excessively. And then they say the mucus now is the furniture in which sickness can survive and live in your body.
Okay.
You know, so this will neutralize the acids causing the mucus to form.
Okay, so now, CMOS. explain how good is sea moss to fight against the mucus.
Yeah, so
And
sea
you
moss,
carry that here, right?
yes, we have that here as well. Sea moss is extremely alkalizing.
Okay.
You know, so they say sea moss has damn near every vitamin, mineral, trace mineral needed by the body. And they say sickness at the end of the day is a vitamin, mineral, or trace mineral deficiency. So being that that's rich in iron, rich in potassium, rich in naturally occurring iodine, rich in magnesium, and all of these things, it effectively combats a lot of sicknesses that we deal with.
Okay.
But due to its mucus busting properties, very good for like asthma and bronchitis and sinusitis and allergies and hay fever and all mucus related issues. Being
So
that
like-
again, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut. So as the weather's starting to get a little cool now,
Yes.
that's when little kids start catching colds, and the little kid got a cold, he gives you a cold. So to combat that, that would be good to sea moss.
Yes.
And good to incorporate into the diet.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
can have the sea moss as is, how we kind of serve it, and you can also heat it up. You can have Irish moss tea or sea moss tea. So rather than you drink it cold, you can warm it up and drink it warm, and that'll kind of add to the medicinal benefit of it when it comes to combating colds and flu and all of that stuff.
So what forms do you have it in?
Again, being that sea moss is popular now, they're selling a lot of compromised sea moss. You know, so sea moss that isn't properly cultivated and all of that stuff. So
Okay.
I have a brother who gets the authentic sea moss from the Caribbean islands, and he will do the job of picking, making sure it's quality, rinsing the excess salt, soaking it for 24 hours like you're supposed to, straining that off, re-soaking it, then blending or boiling it, and then you end up with the gelatinous, gel that it forms.
Okay.
And we bottle that in a glass jar, and then we give that to people to use.
Okay, great.